All right, so this week we are looking at advanced data visualization and storytelling. So let me pick a data set from here. So last week we looked at data visualization, data aggregation, and storytelling. So we are continuing from here this week, how to summarize our data using pivot tables and how to bring in charts to tell a data story. So from here, we are going to look at how we can analyze this data. And as analysts, we know that anytime you are given a data, the first thing to do is to convert your data into a table, right? So in this case, you highlight your entire table. If only it is not in a table form already, you come to your insert and you convert it into a table before you continue with your analysis. After that, you do what we call data understanding. You try and understand your data, and also you clean your data after the data understanding. So if we look at this data is the first column is talking about order ID, the day each item was ordered. This is talking about the region, the specific places each item was bought or the shop is located. This is talking about the people, the sales people, and this is talking about the item. So looking at the item, it seems it's a bookshop, right? Because I see a bender, pen set, pencil, pen, desk. So this looks like a bookshop, something like that. Now this is talking about the unit. So the unit means the number, the quantity of the pen, the pencil being sold, the quantity of the pencil being sold over here. This one is talking about unit cost, and this one is talking about total. So how do we see this data to be? Is there something to be cleaned, something to be changed, or what needs to be done over here? Please, does someone has an idea how to handle this data, or it is clean to work with? Can somebody add an input? Please, can somebody add an input to this data if you can hear me clearly? Is there anything to be changed, anything to alter in this data before we start with our analysis? Please, can anybody help us?
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, with the data and it has it talk of the unit, and then the total. I think it's available. Look,
We are listening, Rich. Or you are done? Okay. So if there is nothing to change, nothing to alter over here, then what we are going to do is to analyze this data, right? So in analyzing this data, we want to look at the people, the sales people, and the total number of items they've sold, right? Or we want to look at how much was each region able to sell from the 2019 to 2020 data. So we have so many ways of analyzing this, but this case, we are looking at how to aggregate the data and describe it using a pivot table over here. So when we want to use a pivot table, we can use it in two ways. Either you bring the pivot table in the sheet where the data is, or you take it to the next sheet. And always it is advisable you take your pivot table to the next sheet. So how do we do that? The first thing you need to do is, please make sure you highlight any part of the data before. After you highlight any cell, please pick a pivot table from the Insert tab. And most often, you find yourself under the Home tab, come to the Insert tab, and click on Pivot Table. Pivot Table will give you something like this. Maybe yours might not be the table 1 over here, or sheet 1 over here. Yours may be the entire range of the data. That isn't a problem. Here, choose where you want the pivot table to be placed. So now let's take it to new sheet. When you come here, the location, right? Leave this one and come to choose where you want the data to be analyzed. Under it, you see add this data to the data model. Why is this very important? The data model is important because this will give you the pivot table for you to select the data, or where you find your table as part of your pivot table to analyze. So always add the model so you can configure your data inside the pivot table. Click OK because this is taking us to a new sheet. So when you click OK, automatically you will see the pivot table fields over here. You see the pivot table fields over here with your data being displayed under it. If you didn't add a data model, this will not be part of your pivot table. Hence, you can't do any analysis with it. So what we are come to do here is to simply summarize our data and aggregate whatever we want to do for our analysis. Again, in the pivot table, we are very particular about the rows and the columns over here. Always use the rows first in your analysis, and the row tab over here is used to display qualitative data. What you are using as your criteria should be first under your row. So now we want to know how much each salesperson made, right? So our target here will be for the salesperson or the salespeople. Now you can take this one and it will display here, but I advise you to always click on it, hold your mouse and drag it down to wherever you are taking it to. Why? Depending on your machine, yours may not correspond or respond exactly to you clicking on the rows and clicking on anything, it will display here for you. So it is advisable you always drag and you drop it at where you want to see it. And we use the row column to display or to display our column over here. But if you take it to the column over here, thinking column is in horizontal, vertical form like this, it will take you to a different angle of which you get everything wrong. So let's try that and see where the mistake lies. So if you bring it to the column over here, it is going to give you it's the vice versa, right? Vice versa. Since doing it like this will give you an issue, then you always bring it at the row column and it will display in a column like for you. Now the next thing to do is to know how much each person sold, right, in total. Please, we use the values here to display quantitative data, right? The quantitative data, so take note of that. So now you come to your total cost over here, You select it, you drag it to the values over here. So now from the data, each person and his or her corresponding sum total of the items sold are displayed over here. So we can see that Dana made a sale of 1,203. Mike made a sale of 3,827 over here. And we can see all the people over here. Now, to believe that our analysis is correct, in order to believe that, for the sake of those who are yet to learn how to use the unique and the other basic function, we are going to use one of the function to really understand that indeed what we have here is correct. So how do I know that Dinah indeed made a sale of this? So let's manually do this over here. So we only have how many people here? So let me name this our pivot table. Our pivot table. Our pivot table. Let me name this data. So our data. So from the pivot table, we only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have 10 sales people. So let's come to our data. So to confirm that we have 10 sales people, I'll use my unique formula here. Sorry, my unique formula over here. Then I select the range of the entire sales column. What this is going to do is that this function is going to remove the duplicates of the names, because some of the salespeople are looking after 2 or 3 shops, or from either one region or 2 regions, right? So I want to look at the exact total number of salespeople we have. I use my unique column, and boom, these are the names I have. So let's count it manually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Meaning our pivot table, what we have in our pivot table is correct. Also, you can highlight the entire range. Then you select. So please, along the way, we are taking some part of the basic functions into this, so we can all understand it better, right? So if I want to know the exact people, I can copy all the names. Please open a new sheet, then paste it, right? So you see here, there are many, right? So to understand it better, let's bring it to number 1 over here and paste it. So now let's come and see. Now there are 43 over here. So the 43, to really understand that indeed everything here is correct, come to data. Come to data, and under data, come to the data tools over here. Now, what we are going to look for is this. Please remove duplicates, right? Click on remove duplicates, and now you have your column over here, right? Select OK. You wait, and now we had 33 duplicate values found and removed, right? So 10 unique values remain. What this means is that some of the names were repeating themselves. So we have only 10 salespeople over here, meaning that using the unique, using the duplicate, and the pivot table are all giving us the same thing. Hence, this is correct for us. And the sum total for each salesperson is here. And now the grand sum total too is here. Now, let's open another sheet, and we are going to look at how much each region made, right, from the analysis, or the total amount each region made from the salespeople. So you highlight any part of your data again, you come to insert, you pick your pivot table again. Now we come to add data model, and then we click on OK. Now here we come again. You first click on any part of the rows over here. You come to your data, your data fields. We are looking for the region, right? We are looking for the region, not other ID. There is the region. So you drag it down to the row, and now we have only three regions over here: Central, East, and West. How do we prove this? That we only have three regions over here. Let's go into our data, and we are going to use the unique function over here to confirm or prove that indeed is correct. So to do that, we highlight, please don't add the first one over here. So, okay. So you only select the range, right? And boom. So the unique column, the unique function is giving us three regions over here. Again, let's select the region over here. Let's copy. Let's find a new sheet. We are only trying to confirm that we have three regions over here. Please, anywhere, just paste whatever you have, right? After everything is pasted, you can leave it like that. Go to data, please. You go to data and you come to the data tools over here, group. You look for this function, this called remove duplicate, right? Click on it. And this remove duplicate will give you a display like this. That's column C over here. And click OK. So this one is also giving us, so in this we had 40 duplicates, right? So you select OK, and we have three regions over here, meaning what we have in our pivot table is correct. So regional, this regional sales total, something like that. So if you want to know the amount each region made, you come to click on the values column. Now, which quantitative column are we taking it here? We are looking at the total over here. So we bring the total over here, and now this the amount each region made, right? And the sum total over here. Let's come back to our first pivot table where we were able to know how much each salesperson made. Now we have something we call sub queries. So I'm trying to merge the cells over here and write here sub queries. Subqueries. So we use the subqueries over here when you want to summarize your data further, right? Add more summary to your data in just one table without taking the pain of going through this data without any further understanding, right? So over here, looking at what each salesperson made, we want to know the region they made the sales for, right? So highlight any part of your data, and it will give you the data fields or the pivot table fields over here. Now we are coming to our rows. So we have two ways of doing this. You can either use the rows or you use the column, but always if you are adding a subquery, it is advisable you go for the rows as your subquery, right? So let's highlight any part of the row column, then we click on the row column again under the table fields. Now we are going to select the region, back to the row tab. So this one is going to give us a sub category and how much each person made from each region. So you can see that from central region, these people are looking after shops over there, or these people are the sales people that are found in central region. Eastern region, when you come to eastern region, you will see the number of people over there, and the western as well. So we can say, I think western, we only have one person or so. We only have two sales people here. So we use the pivot table to add more summary to our data. So without wasting time to go through our data, pivot table will do that summary for us using data aggregation and the pivot table at the same time. Now, when we come to our regional sales, now we've gotten to know how much each region was, each region made for us. And we want to look at the number of salespeople that made that sales, and even who is the salesperson that made the most sale. So we do the same thing. You click on the